teams in the second half here. Well, Emias Faye made the decision to start the game today with his two midfield pillars in Seri and Kessié, resting Sékou Fofana. And he's lost Jean-Michel Seri to injury late in the first half, and now he's withdrawn his captain Kessié, who scored twice in the reverse meeting of the teams on Friday. Sierra Leone have a problem here. Now then, it's Emmanuel Samadia, the United States-based left back, who's picked up the knock within seconds of the second half getting underway here. Well, he's back on his feet, not walking very comfortably. And as he moves to the sideline, Mustafa Bundu is standing over the free kick. Sierra Leone's number 10. A bit of magic spray for Samadia, that'll hopefully do the trick for him. Bundu, well, it's a poor delivery from Bundu. You can see Stephen Colker's frustration because he'd made the run into the middle towards the penalty spot. Either a breakdown in communication or just a complete miss-hit by Bundu. They need to make more of the chances that do come their way here, Sierra Leone. Touch on by Kouassi. This is Ahmed Traoré. Dorgelès spreading the play out to the left-hand side. An injection of youth into the midfield with the introduction of Dorgelès into the starting lineup today, just 20. And getting his first cap. Ahmed Traoré is just 24. Diomandé is just 22, albeit he'll turn 23 at the end of the month. There's an Ivorian player on the ground at the moment on the far side, and that's why Doumbouya has put the ball behind to allow for some treatment for Benny Traoré if needed. Benny Traoré given his chance in the starting 11 today. Emias Faye switching things up. Think of the players who he has in the squad who are not involved in the starting lineup today, the likes of Amad Diallo at Manchester United, who's a very exciting young talent. Sébastien Haller eventually dropping out of the squad. Nicolas Pepe and Evan Guesson, Jean-Philippe Crasso all making way today. And remember, no Simon Adingra in the squad either. There is fearsome strength in depth up front for the Elephants. This is Forna. Forna again goes long. Looking for Bakayoko. Did a really difficult job in San Pedro, and it's the same again for him today. There are two players down here, and Eric Bailly is not happy with the level of aggression from Amadou Bakayoko, Sierra Leone's Japan-based number 9. Now, what did Bakayoko do here? Was there a little push on Agbadou? Yes, there was, and in truth, lucky to escape a booking for that Bakayoko. Emmanuel Agbadou colliding with his goalkeeper Yaya Fofana, and Fofana's okay. Agbadou needing some treatment. Back on his feet though. stadium in the Monrovia suburbs. See the greenery in the distance on this sunny late afternoon. Bad news for the locals is that Liberia, among the first teams to be eliminated from AFCON qualifying. They began a campaign with a 1-1 draw away to Togo last month, but then lost here against Algeria in front of a packed house, and this month beaten away by Equatorial Guinea on Friday, and then yesterday losing here against Equatorial Guinea again by 2-1, a late goal, injury time goal, denying them a point, and meaning that they cannot now qualify for the next edition of AFCON. And Liberia, in truth, their record in AFCON is very disappointing. Of course, the days of George Weah, a long time ago now. They were there in 1996, played just 2 games, didn't make it through their group, and then in 2002 failed to win a game, failed to get out of their group, and that's the sum of it for the Liberian team. That might make fans of Sierra Leone feel a bit better about their side's record at AFCON. Sierra Leone have been just 3 times, including that 1996 edition and in 1994, and then the beginning of 2022 in Cameroon, when they held the Elephants to a 2-2 draw. Yes, that campaign in Cameroon a couple of years ago, Sierra Leone started with a 0-0 draw against Algeria, then held the Ivorians, but were unable to get out of the group regardless, as they've won themselves a free kick here in a dangerous position just outside the penalty box. Well, it's been a positive start to the second half from them. They are aware that they really need the result. And the referee seen 2 Sierra Leone players end up on the ground. Suli Kai Kai, the number 11, and then Alassane Karoma. Kai Kai caught initially, and then Karoma chopped down. So the question is, has he brought it back for the first challenge by Eric Bailly? Now has the captain's armband on for the Ivorians, or is he going to give it in the position where the second challenge came in on Alassane Karoma? So Guy Demel, Imas Faye's assistant, shouting on some instructions towards the Ivorian team as Yaya Fofana prepares his wall to defend against this free kick. Can Sierra Leone take the lead here? Would be a sensational result if they can win this game. It would prevent the Ivorians from wrapping up qualification this evening. Well, Samadia and Bundu standing over this. Bundu hits it. Well struck and not far away, but Yaya Fofana wasn't overly worried. Back to that meeting of the teams at the AFCON in 2022 in Douala. Twice Sierra Leone came from behind their second goal from the substitute Alhaji Camara, coming in the 93rd minute to earn them a draw. Only two of their starters today started in that match, Stephen Kolker and Mustafa Bundu. Just real disappointment that they were unable to build on that, and holding an Algerian team who were the defending champions at the time. They were ultimately eliminated because they lost their last game by 0-0 against Equatorial Guinea in Limbe. Admittedly, it was a really difficult group because Algeria were the defending champions. The Elephants are traditional African heavyweights, and Equatorial Guinea have emerged as a force to be reckoned with really across the last decade. Twice being hosts of AFCON, that's helped them in their development. Goalless here in Monrovia still then. Sierra Leone with a decent start to the second half, but still not really able to trouble Yaya Fofana in the Côte d'Ivoire goal, as Diakité looks for Benny Traoré. He struggled to get on the end of that ball. He'll try to at least prevent the goal kick. Now then, there is a Sierra Leone player on the ground in midfield, and the referee from Cameroon is going to have to come and just check on this. Going to be some sore bodies tomorrow, that's for sure. Côte d'Ivoire having already lost Jean-Michael Seri to injury in the first half. Well, it's Abu Doumbouya who's gone down. Benny Traoré trying to clamber over the Sierra Leone number 4. Starting today, coming from playing club football in northern Cyprus. Samadia. Mustafa Bundu backed away by 4 now, under pressure from Diakité. Stephen Kolker to Abdoulaye Jarju Kabia. Jarju Kabia again, now with Kolker. Was in Spain, working as player coach at a lower league club before returning to Turkey a few months ago. Perry, it's a good ball. Benny Traoré infield to Ahmed Traoré. Gieladoué now with Jean-Évrard Kouassi, China-based number 10. Change of direction from him, back to Doué once again, and the pass is just unable to match up with Gieladoué. Jean-Évrard Kouassi making his return to the national team today. He did appear once at the 2022 AFCON, that was against Sierra Leone as a substitute. Away by Francis Koroma. Now then, Alassane Koroma setting off on the run. Watched all the way by Dorgelès. He could do with some support here. Challenged by Dorgelès, fairly, according to the referee. Côte d'Ivoire looking to break. Diakité would have been in an offside position when Traoré played that ball, and the flag has come up. Koroma, remember, the Sierra Leone goalkeeper, it's a bit of a hamstring problem. He's struggling at the moment. Went down late in the first half, needed some treatment. He has carried on. And meanwhile, Mauro Dorgelès He's going to need some treatment here. Doesn't look too comfortable, does he, Francis Koroma? Remember, elsewhere in AFCON qualifying today, Gabon with a 2-0 win against Lesotho. Xavi Babika with the first goal in that game, setting them on their way there in a very strong position to qualify from Group B. Which also features Morocco, the hosts of the next AFCON, who are playing in the group regardless to give themselves some competitive action. Much needed match practice. Other games already completed today. Sudan beating Ghana 2-0 with 2 second-half goals. And it looks like the Black Stars are not going to qualify for the next AFCON, which would be huge news. They play Angola away in their next game. And then they finish at home to Niger, and they're going to have to win those games and hope for, if not quite a miracle, well, certainly some big slip-ups for Sudan in their last couple of games. The full-time scorelines today in Group H. The Democratic Republic of Congo are heading through. They were 2-0 winners against Tanzania. A couple of late goals in that game from Meshak Elia. And the Leopards are going to be there. In Group K, Uganda beating South Sudan 2-1 away. Second half own goal, deciding that match in favour of the Cranes. And Uganda look like they're going to be back at the Cup of Nations. Welcome return in store for them. They're in the same group as South Africa, who are in action today. And in Group L, Senegal's 1-0 win against Malawi, meaning they and Burkina Faso are heading through. There is Dorgelès back on his feet. Well, we are more than 2/3 of the way through this game now. Samadi will lead the throw. Nathaniel Jallo jogging all the way across from the right-back position to take this. Be a long throw launched into the box from him. One of 2 members of the Sierra Leone starting lineup today, based in the National League. Not just fall for Kolka in the penalty box. Côte d'Ivoire surviving, cleared away by Bai. Mentioning the domestic league, Bo Rangers, the leading side in Sierra Leone at the moment. They domestic champions, but didn't make it through the qualifying rounds for the CAF Champions League. They lost in the first qualifying round to San Pedro of Côte d'Ivoire. A narrow 2-1 aggregate defeat for them. Big step for a club from Sierra Leone to make it to the group stage of the CAF Champions League, that's for sure. It's an awkward one for the goalkeeper, Yaya Fofana, who collects it. And a clearance picked up by Bundu. Bundu challenged by Geladoué. That ball is kept in by Diakite. Oumar Diakite into the penalty box. Looks to play it across the face of goal, followed all the way by Stephen Kolka, who stood up to him very well. Dumbuya covered from that earlier knock. Amadou Bakayoko found it really difficult to make an impact today, but he's won the free kick. Well, there wasn't much in that. The challenge from Emmanuel Agbadou. Foul in the eyes of the referee. Change of direction from Bakayoko. Not a huge amount of contact, in truth, on him from Agbadou. do have a turf, it's an artificial surface here at the stadium in Monrovia. Certainly not what the majority of these players are used to. Sierra Leone with another free kick in an interesting position. Once again, Samadia and Bundu standing over it. Poland all the way towards the back post. In fact, it was Sully Kaikai who played it in. And the Côte d'Ivoire defence surviving. Elephants are going to make more changes shortly. It looks like Jean-Philippe Crasso is going to enter the fray. Emas Faye may be feeling that just wants to freshen things up front in an attempt to grab the winning goal, pin Sierra Leone back. I think we're going to see Evan Guesson coming on as well. A couple of the starting attackers from the reverse fixture in San Pedro at the end of last week. Now then, another break in play, and this will allow Côte d'Ivoire to make the double substitution. So we're going to see Jean-Philippe Crasso coming on in place of Jean-Évrard Kouassi. The final quarter of this game. Now the other substitution may well be Benny Traoré, who's going to make way. Yes, it is. Benny Traoré will be replaced by Evan Guesson. So double substitution made by Côte d'Ivoire. Benny Traoré is departing the pitch round the far side. Both Guesson and Crasso started in San Pedro on Friday. Crasso's introduction, very interesting. Fresh face in this Côte d'Ivoire team, and contributed 3 big goals in the 2 games played last month. Here comes the cross, it's going to fall here for Diakité. All the way towards the far post, towards Guesson. Tried to pick out Ahmed Traoré in the middle. This is going to be a big test of Sierra Leone. Can they hold out here? Guesson across the face of goal. Francis Koroma collects it. Jean-Philippe Crasso came on against Zambia in Bouaké on match day 1 and scored twice in the last 20 minutes of that game to give Côte d'Ivoire the victory. And then against Chad in Yaoundé on match day 2, he got the breakthrough goal in first half stoppage time to set the Elephants up for a 2-0 win. And Sierra Leone looking for the free kick again, nothing given. Ahmed Traoré. Oumar Diakité moved out to the right-hand side since the withdrawal of Kouassi to allow Crasso to play through the middle. Here is Jean-Philippe Crasso. To the middle from him. Beyond the reach of Diakité. Diakité of Stade de Reims in Ligue 1 in France. Crasso is now playing in the 2nd division in France with Paris FC, who are a very ambitious club. Now then, time for Sierra Leone to make some changes. Time for a cooling break as well for the two sets of players. And for the officials, Stephen Colker taking on some water and trying to lift his team as well.
It's now time for the break.
Fofana, born in France, has played for the French national under-21 team. There is a very strong French influence in the Côte d'Ivoire side as the first of those two changes is made by Sierra Leone. So Mustafa Bundu off and Issa Kalon coming on, one of the players who dropped out of the starting lineup today. Another attacking change for Sierra Leone. Souley Kai Kai of Cambridge United in the English third tier is off, and Saliu Tarawali, who plays for Kalon FC in Sierra Leone, will come on to freshen things up front. Karuma doing well. Really good play from the winger. Dangerous ball in from him. And just a reminder for Côte d'Ivoire that Sierra Leone can still be a threat. Alassane Karuma scored the goal for Sierra Leone in San Pedro on Friday. Brilliant turn away from Christopher Operi. And then the shot stopped by the goalkeeper. Player to look out for Karuma. He plays his club football in Qatar with Al Shahaniya. Direct opposition to Christopher Operi today. Operi is very good attacking fullback in Ligue 1 in France with Le Havre, but the Elephants in this game and on Friday in the reverse meeting of the teams didn't really offer much in an attacking sense in that one. Hasn't done so today either. Jallo, Bakayoko, Guesson, away by Karuma. This is Karuma preferred today to Mohamed Camara in goal for Sierra Leone, and as it stands he's on course for a clean sheet, but there may be a bit more pressure to have to deal with for the Sierra Leone defence. Too much on the cross, it might be kept in play by Diakite. It is. Back to Guéladoué. Well then the Flag is up. Jean-Philippe Crasso ending up on the ground. Moved to Paris FC ahead of this season from Red Star Belgrade. He played in the UEFA Champions League for the Serbian club. Paris FC paying more than €1 million to sign Crasso to bring him back to the French game. And there is a feeling that a player of his quality can score the goals that would lead them to promotion to Ligue 1 in France. A lot of excitement in France about Crasso's club, on the verge of being taken over by a very rich family in France, with the backing of Red Bull, of course, had a big impact on clubs like RB Leipzig in Germany, Red Bull Salzburg in Austria. Looks like Paris FC are going to become part of that stable, with Crasso leading their attack and possibly setting up some derby clashes against Paris Saint-Germain next season. Dorgelès challenge coming in on him. Tyrese Fornau belongs to Derby County in the English Championship, the second tier, but has gone on loan this season to Salford City in seek of regular first-team football, which he's getting at the beginning of this campaign. O'Perry, long ball forwards. Samadia returning it to the Sierra Leone goalkeepers under a bit of pressure from Crasso. Hamidou Karim's team holding Côte d'Ivoire. Karim, who played at 1994 and 1996 AFCON tournaments with the Leone Stars. Draw is probably not much use to Sierra Leone, but in isolation it would be a very respectable result. They've never beaten Côte d'Ivoire in 9 previous attempts. Look at the world rankings of the two teams. Sierra Leone 125th in the world, 35th in Africa, which would suggest that it's unlikely that they're going to qualify for AFCON. Côte d'Ivoire, in contrast, 33rd in the FIFA world rankings. They are 4th in Africa. In the world rankings, they're in between Hungary, who've become a very respectable team in Europe, and Russia, who remain high up the rankings, relatively speaking, despite being frozen out of international competition in Europe in the last couple of years. Kolker with the clearance. Fornau. Al-Hassan Kuroma. Picked up by Tarawali. And then Issa Kalon. Samadia's cross collected by Yaya Fofana. Just not really any signs that Sierra Leone have the quality needed to get a goal here. Côte d'Ivoire on the offensive, just too much on the pass aimed at Crasso. Mopped up by the goalkeeper, and Stephen Kolker is not happy with Francis Kuroma. I think he feels that could have played it to Kolker rather than putting it straight out of play for a throw and just returning possession to Côte d'Ivoire. See signs of frustration for Kolker, just maybe clear sign that he has played at a much higher level than the majority of these Sierra Leone players, than anybody alongside him in the Sierra Leone team today. Diakite. Doué, it's a good ball into the box. Played back towards Ahmed Traoré, headed clear by Kolker. Diakite once again in that position on the right wing since that double substitution. Alassane Kuroma remains the danger man for Sierra Leone, and has given away the free kick. The match has been played later today. Some big names around Africa in action. Tunisia playing Comoros in Group A. Guesson trying to charge his way through. Free kick is given against Côte d'Ivoire. I think flag up for offside. It's Morocco, the hosts of the next AFCON, playing against Central African Republic this evening in Group B. Ethiopia up against Guinea, that's in Group H. Guinea, who got to the quarter-finals of this year's AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire, in neighbouring Côte d'Ivoire. Remember the match between Libya and Nigeria being postponed. Teams in action also today, including Egypt, who are playing Mauritania. And South Africa as well, Bafana playing against the Republic of Congo. The World Cup qualifying campaign will resume early next year, before the next AFCON gets underway. Issa Kalon really struggled on the left wing for Sierra Leone in San Pedro on Friday, up against the formidable Wilfried Singo. But Singo's not involved today. Maybe part of the thinking for Sierra Leone in the decision to send on Issa Kalon for the final stages of this game. Christopher Operi will take the throw, the left-back, who is a recent addition to the Côte d'Ivoire squad, and there is a family link between him and a great Elephants team of the past. Operi is a cousin of Cyril Domoro, who was a captain of the Elephants, who played for some big clubs in Europe like Olympique de Marseille and Inter Milan and Monaco. Diakite. Eric Bailly under pressure from Tarawali. Now then, free kick's been given against Bailly, I think. Turn to the Elephants set up today, and a yellow card for Eric Bailly. Coming because there is no Willy Boli, there is no Odilon Kosunu either for Côte d'Ivoire. Eric Bailly is 30 now. He's spent his whole career in Europe. He's currently with Villarreal in La Liga in Spain. That long stint at Manchester United, of course, over 6 seasons. Played under Jose Mourinho there. The captain's armband on now after Franck Kessié went off. Hamidou Karim in discussions with his assistant. Sierra Leone with the free kick, which is going to be taken by Emmanuel Samadia. We're at the stage now where one goal will probably be decisive if either team can find the breakthrough. Côte d'Ivoire just looking for the draw that will clinch qualification for them. Samadia into the middle, and the header has been turned in. Fofana got a touch, but he couldn't keep it out. And Sierra Leone may be heading for a famous victory. It's Amadou Bakayoko who runs away in celebration. And the Leone Stars fans present here in Monrovia today are witnessing something potentially historic. A massive moment, the goal from Amadou Bakayoko. And the Leone Stars may just be heading for a victory against Emerse Faé's Côte d'Ivoire, the reigning champions of Africa. Well, the free kick coming in from Emmanuel Samadia, and Bakayoko just stealing away from his marker, Agbadou. Did really well, stretching his neck to head that ball towards goal, keeping it on target and beyond the reach of Yaya Fofana, who was able to get a touch, but it was, in truth, perfectly placed. A great goal from Bakayoko. Well, Amadou Bakayoko scored a massive goal for Sierra Leone in a 2-2 draw with Burkina Faso in a World Cup qualifying fixture earlier this year. He's already shown his value to this Sierra Leone team in the recent past. And he puts them ahead here against Cote d'Ivoire today. They are heading for their first ever victory against the Elephants. And if it stays this way, Sierra Leone will be right back in the mix for qualification. And Cote d'Ivoire will, at the very least, have to wait until next month before wrapping up their place at the next AFCON. Imas Faye is going to respond to that by making a final substitution. Wilfried Singo will come on here. 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining for Sierra Leone to hang on. Who will Wilfried Singo replace? It's going to be Oumar Diakité jogging to the sideline. So a striker off with a defender on. I wonder if Wilfried Singo is going to play up front. Just a reshuffle. It may well be that Gela Doué moves up onto the right wing and Singo plays it right back. Cote d'Ivoire have not lost the game since being crowned champions of Africa in February. They've been in very good form under the new coach, Imas Faye. Beat Gabon and drew with Kenya in that World Cup qualifying campaign in June. They've started off their AFCON qualifying campaign with a perfect 3 wins from 3. But heading for defeat today. Eric Bailly wins the free kick up against Bakayoko. Another change for Sierra Leone. Ibrahim Silla started in San Pedro in midfield. Substituted before half-time in that game, but this is a conservative move by Amidou Karim, an understandable one. Amadou Bakayoko is coming off. 28-year-old forward who moved to Japan earlier this year. He was playing in the Scottish Premiership last season for Dundee. And his place is taken by Ibrahim Silla. Plays in the 3rd division in the Netherlands for ACV Assen. He's a defensive midfield player, and he will just come on and sit in front of the back 4 by the looks of it. Can they see out the victory? Even a draw would be a commendable result against this Cote d'Ivoire team, but in truth, it would not help them in their qualification campaign because it would leave them 5 points behind Zambia in second with just 2 matches remaining. But a win, as it stands, that's what they're going to get, and they'll be just 3 points behind Chipolo Polo. That's before they play Chad next month. If they can win that, and if Zambia slip up against Cote d'Ivoire, it'll all come down to match day 6 next month when Sierra Leone are due to play Zambia. That should be here in Monrovia. And they already played on match day 1 against Chad. They drew that one 0-0. That was a frustrating result in truth, but this would be a monumental victory for Sierra Leone. The last AFCON qualifying campaign was a real struggle. Finished 3rd in their qualifying group behind Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. Their only win in 6 games came against Sao Tome and Principe. That was an away game played in Morocco. Effectively on neutral territory, therefore. Other than that, they had a miserable time of it. But this would be a stunning result. They're not there yet. Foul on Operi by Abu Doumbouya. 90 minutes, just about up.
It's 5 minutes additional time.
5 minutes of added time. Sierra Leone are preparing a final substitution in a moment. The number 21 is Rodney Michael. He's going to come on. Singo. Collected by Francis Karoma, who is clutching hold of that ball. There is Wilfried Singo, the last substitute brought on by Emerse Faye, the AS Monaco defender, playing on that right-hand side. I suspect the Ivorian media will not be too impressed with this result for the Elephants. It's been a roller coaster ride of a year in 2024 for them. And that change will be made, and Rodney Michael entering the fray. Now, it looks like it's going to be Al-Hassan Karoma coming off. Rodney Michael is a right winger, so he'll move into that position on the far side. Another good shift from Al-Hassan Karoma, probably Sierra Leone's most impressive player over the two games. And Rodney Michael is on. He plays club football in Lebanon for Safa Beirut. Moved there in August from Cyprus. Singo. Agbadou. Then that's going to be a goal kick. Sierra Leone are just a couple of minutes away from a historic victory. Côte d'Ivoire unbeaten since that 4-0 thrashing by Equatorial Guinea during the AFCON in the group stage in January. They beat Sierra Leone 4-1 in San Pedro on Friday. They beat them 5-1 in the friendly in January, just ahead of the AFCON. Sierra Leone, who've not won a game since beating Djibouti 2-1. That was a World Cup qualifier in June. 4 games since then, a couple of draws and a couple of defeats. They've never been to the AFCON 3 times in their history. But win this game in isolation, it would be a stunning victory which will be celebrated all across the country. And on top of that, it would keep alive their dream of making it to the finals. Rodney Michael, who's just come on, has stayed down here with a knock to the face. He's grappling with Operi. He was caught maybe by the arm of Operi, but nothing deliberate from the Côte d'Ivoire defender. Well, this does all eat up some valuable seconds, but the referee will add on the time needed here for the treatment for the Sierra Leone substitute. It's back up now. Had the 5 minutes allotted for stoppage time. Geladoué to Singo. Throw into Côte d'Ivoire. Big few seconds for Sierra Leone to hold on here. High ball into the penalty box, helped on by Diomande into the arms of Francis Koroma. And that should be that for Sierra Leone. The referee looking at his watch. Only Michael. It's going to be a goal kick. Probably that will be that. And there is the final whistle. Sierra Leone have done it. One of the finest results in their history, really, certainly in their modern history. A stunning victory against the reigning champions of Africa, secured thanks to late Amadou Bakayoko goal. It's a win which keeps Sierra Leone's dream of returning to AFCON firmly alive, heading into the final 2 qualified fixtures in November. And it's a result which means that Côte d'Ivoire under Emirs Faye will have to wait a little longer anyway before securing their place at the finals in Morocco next year. There's probably not much doubt that they're going to get there, but they're not there yet. A draw would have secured their place today. As it stands, they're going to need to get a draw against Zambia on match day 5 in order to be sure of qualifying